Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon flying solo in another video. Geeky had some dental work done. She's recovering, so you're stuck with me. We're going to talk about Screen Rant being like, why is the MCU so divisive after Endgame? Are Marvel movies really worse now? Well, yeah. As far as performance goes, yeah, they are. They really are a lot worse. And in fact, if we're talking audience reaction and we're talking Rotten Tomatoes scores, most of the Marvel movies post Endgame have not been doing as well as the ones before Endgame. So we're going to talk about this damage control. I think people are just talking about it because, look, there is no more debate, right? There's no more debate. There's no more, pro Marvel, anti Marvel people, whatever. This argument is over. It's very clear that Marvel is in a bad state right now. It's so bad that the co-creator of Deadpool is saying that Kevin Feige needs to step away from Marvel because he's ruining it. But is that going to happen? Probably not. I mean, how long have Star Wars fans wanted Kathleen Kennedy to step away from Star Wars? And they just let her do more and more and more damage. I think they're going to let Feige run Marvel through Secret Wars, at least, and we'll see where we're at with that. And I'm going to be honest, I have zero excitement for Secret Wars. I might have to see more, but I don't think it's going to be the Hail Mary pass that they're hoping for. I don't think it's going to replicate, and I could be wrong, but I don't think it's going to replicate the success of Endgame because there's not enough interest in Marvel leading up to it. You know what I mean? Everybody was pumped for every Marvel movie that came out leading up to Endgame. And Endgame was the big finale, right? And that is not the case now. People are less and less excited about every Marvel movie that comes out, every Disney Plus show that comes out. I don't see Secret Wars or Doomsday doing incredibly well, especially if, I could be wrong. Again, I could be wrong. But if people have a hard time, normies have a hard time accepting Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. And if they're going with the whole MCU version of Dr. Doom just being an evil Tony Stark, I'm not sure I'm on board with that either. He's not even his own character, right? We're talking one of the greatest villains in Marvel history. He should at least be given the opportunity to actually be Victor Von Doom and not just evil Tony Stark. And yeah, I know there was a multiverse story about that, whatever. I don't care. I want proper Doctor Doom. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. If you are not getting notifications, I know you're probably getting sick of me mentioning this. If you're not getting notifications, go to clownfishtv.substack.com, subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. And you can be notified of new video uploads. Some of you are getting notifications, some of you are not. There's something going on with YouTube this month. I am guessing another lovely algorithm update, which never, ever benefits small creators. It almost always benefits big corporate accounts or people with 50 million subs or whatever. Always benefits YouTube because they make more money off of those people. But anyway, subscribe, clownfishtv.substack.com. It also helps spread us out a little bit more just in case, because we never know when the end game for YouTube is going to be. I'm going to be honest. At some point in time, and I think other YouTubers need to be cognizant of this. At some point in time, it is not going to be viable to be doing this kind of content on YouTube. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just telling you right now. Anyway, enough doom and gloom. Let's talk about more doom and gloom. This is coming from Screen Rant. Why the MCU is so divisive after Avengers Endgame. Are Marvel movies really worse? Are they really worse? They said, while Spider-Man No Way Home and Deadpool and Wolverine did well, it's well known that this most recent period of the franchise has been far more divisive than what came before. Well, yeah. They said everything's struggling at the box office now. They said Endgame ended the MCU's most popular era, but is the franchise really worse now? Yes, it is. It's a convoluted mess, right? It's so bad that Hideo Kojima can't keep track of what's going on with Captain America. Have you played any of his games? Okay, this man, like, if he can't keep track of Captain America, you're doing something wrong. So Captain America Brave New World is the latest divisive Marvel movie. Sam Wilson's first Captain America film has divided audiences and critics. Yeah, it was the lowest cinema score. It was like 49% critical score on Rotten Tomatoes. Those are like DC numbers. And it did do better at the box office, though, than people thought it would do. But it's still going to come under Ant-Man and the Wasp, right? They said, yeah, a few projects that really divided people in the MCU are She-Hulk, Eternals, Ant-Man 3, and Captain Marvel. And among those, only the latter was released during the Infinity Saga. And that's why Captain Marvel did so well. Let's be honest. That was the first indicator that Marvel was headed down the wrong path, Captain Marvel, because people went to go see that movie because they believed they had to. They believed they had to, because the last thing Nick Fury did in Infinity War was send a page to pager. It was a pager, right? Send a page to Carol Danvers, and people thought they had to watch Captain Marvel. And then she shows up in Endgame, and she is useless. She is absolutely useless in Endgame. And friggin' Thanos flicks her like a booger. And that's pretty much it. The slot between the two biggest Avengers movies to date pushed Captain Marvel to over $1 billion. Yes. That's the only reason why people went to go see that movie. The Marvels has become the MCU's lowest grossing film. Yeah, because if you let Captain Marvel stand on her own, she fails. Just like Ms. Marvel. It doesn't matter, the kid that plays her on Disney Plus, she's pretty cool. She seems pretty cool. But that character, they have tried so many times to make Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel happen, and they don't happen. They never happen. So then they try to prop them up artificially. Oh, we're going to make her the lead character in this game. Oh, okay, that failed. Oh, we're going to make her the most important X-Men character now. Well, that's going to fail too. It's crazy. They say Captain America Brave New World is not the major hit the MCU expected it to be. Did they actually expect it to be a huge hit? I don't know if they did. The film has a low 40% 40% on Rotten Tomatoes. Is that correct? 40%? Did it drop? It's 49. 80% audience, though. Yeah, Captain America Brave New World also holds the lowest cinema score in MCU history. It was a misfire. Like, look, the mainstream media is acknowledging that. This is what's it's so infuriating, because we have people out there that are like, it's all those YouTubers' fault. And all those YouTubers are trying to paint a negative picture of things when things are totally fine. I'm like, every media outlet is actually agreeing with the YouTubers now. It's not about the chuds anymore. They were just doing damage control for Disney. They're trying to deny it. And now you can no longer deny it. It's misfire after misfire after misfire. Rob Liefeld pulled up something from Scott Mendelson. He laid it all out. He says it's not a secret. It's beyond a trend. It's the norm now. 8 movies crash over the last 3 years. Don't we want better movies? You get the curiosity crowd, then plunge. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The only movie that's been a huge hit in the last couple of years was Deadpool and Wolverine, right? So, and that one was more of a Fox thing. It was more of a Ryan Reynolds thing than it was an MCU thing. I mean, they tied it to the MCU, but people went to go see it because it was a follow-up to the Deadpool movies that came before Disney bought Fox, and a follow-up to the X-Men movies. I don't know what you want me to say here. So this is Mendelson. Mendelson said, as noted yesterday, before the summer of 2021, there had never been an MCU movie that dropped more than 62% in the second weekend. Brave New World is the 8th such movie in 3.5 years. Black Widow, 68%. Eternals, 62%. Spider-Man No Way Home was 67% following a $200 million debut. Yeah, No Way Home, everybody went opening weekend. And people went to go see that one more than once because it was good. But again, that was more of a Sony thing. You see what the outliers are? When Disney does it themselves, they screw it up. But when Sony's doing it, which is so weird, I can't believe I'm saying that, because their villain movies have been terrible. But like, that was kind of a Sony thing. and Deadpool and Wolverine was kind of a Fox thing. But just straight up MCU movies, Avengers movies are not doing good. Doctor Strange had a 67% drop off. Again, the exact same problem. You had to watch WandaVision to know what the hell was going on in Doctor Strange 2. And if you watch WandaVision, you're even more confused because you're like, why is Wanda evil now? Why is she evil? She wasn't evil before. Thor, Love and Thunder. I still have not seen the movie. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, 70%. I still have not seen that one. And the Marvels, 78% drop off. I mean, I haven't seen that one yet either. Like, I don't care. I think the last Marvel movie, other than Deadpool and Wolverine, which I saw opening weekend because I wanted to see it because it was Deadpool and Wolverine, for God's sake. Of course I'm going to go see it. I think Doctor Strange 2 was actually the last Marvel movie I went to go see. I don't care. There's so many of these I haven't seen. Black Widow was just a Disney Plus show, basically. And she was already dead, so who cared? Eternals I haven't seen. Spider-Man I've seen. I loved it. Actually, I thought it was pretty good. Doctor Strange was meh. I haven't seen any of these. I just don't care. Tom Connor said Scott blocked me. It used to be such a Disney show. Yeah, that's the thing. All these people are turning now because you can't hide it anymore. You cannot hide Marvel's failure anymore. Just like Star Wars, you can't hide this anymore. They've been trying 5 or 6 years now, 7 years. They've been fighting. These mainstream journalists have been fighting with YouTubers and podcasters and independent voices and saying that they're liars and that they're all doom and gloom. And, if things are bad, it's because they're out there making things bad. And it's like, no, the movies are bad. And normies are checked out. They're just not going to see them. And look, occasionally they get a good thing every once in a while, right? But it's not back-to-back hits like it was before. I mean, what are you supposed to do? You've got everybody calling you out. Marvel is failing. Star Wars is failing. What are you going to do about it, Disney? Absolutely nothing. I mean, if we've learned from Kathleen Kennedy, you can keep failing. And they just keep giving you more chances. You can just burn more and more money. Every movie, every Disney Plus show does worse and worse and worse. And all those toys pile up at Ollie's. Piles and piles and piles of unsold shit. Star Wars shit. Now we got unsold Marvel shit. At what point do you say, hey, enough is enough. We got to stop bleeding out. We're going to have to change things up. And again, this is coming from Screen Rant, right? They were showing hard for Marvel. They said the reasons for the divisive reception to the multiverse project vary, going from external factors, not related to just the MCU, to the quality of the projects, to risky choices. Sadly, female-led projects like Ms. Marvel and She-Hulk suffered from being review bombed for racist and sexist reasons. That's not it. I'm not saying there wasn't some negative reviews left because people had hair up their ass about whatever, but sometimes the projects aren't good, right? People didn't go see The Marvels because they didn't like Ms. Marvel. They didn't like Captain Marvel. They don't know who the hell Photon is. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't care. And it's not necessarily racist or sexist, right? Because they just don't care. They don't care. They're not the ones, the people who didn't go see the movie aren't the ones that are leaving the negative reviews. We're talking the normies, and they're just not going. Marvel movies aren't worse now, but the narrative has changed. Yeah, the narrative has changed. It absolutely has changed. The mainstream media is actually agreeing with the YouTube chuds. It's not possible to say the reason the MCU is more divisive now is that the movies are worse than they were. No, they are. Films like Iron Man 2 and Thor: The Dark World are among the franchise's most criticized. Okay, that is fair. Those two movies were ass. They were. A lot of people forgot about them. They just kind of skipped over them. They were birthed near the first Avengers movie, which made the MCU extremely popular, starring main heroes from the shared universe. The truth is that Avengers Endgame was a unique event that culminated everything Marvel did from 2008 to 2019 beautifully. It's a cinematic achievement that's hard to top. And I'm telling you, I do not see Secret Wars doing better. I do not see it. Because again, you had excitement building up to that, and there is no excitement now. There's no excitement for Marvel. Now everybody just points and laughs. And that's the truth, right? You don't have to like it, but like that is the consensus. Now it's indisputable. The numbers are not good. There is a decline. It's very noticeable. There's no plan, just like Star Wars. There's no plan there wasn't even a plan for the sequel trilogy. They didn't even know what they're doing movie to movie. They're making it up as they go. And that's what phase 4 and phase 5 felt like. They're just making it up as they go. All they cared about was content for Disney Plus, which they stupidly thought was going to put butts in seats in the theater. But they didn't count on the fact that a lot of people weren't watching those Disney Plus shows, including Hideo Kojima. They weren't watching the Disney Plus shows, and they didn't know what the hell was going on, so they just checked out. There's no big bad. There's no, like, if you were gonna do Doomsday, you were gonna do Secret Wars, you needed to set that up with No Way Home. You needed to start teasing Doctor Doom back then, but they didn't tease Doctor Doom back then because they didn't know they were going to use Doctor Doom. Because there's no plan. They had Kang, but Kang was not that great of a villain. I'm going to be honest. He was boring. And he was boring when I was a kid. I remember when I was a little kid, the Secret Wars action figures, the last one left, and he rotted on the shelves for years, kind of like pre-Ollie's, KB Toys. They had a bunch of toys on clearance. And it was Kang. There were rows and rows of Kang action figures for like 99 cents. Nobody wanted them because they didn't know who he was. He's just some doofy blue-faced guy with a helmet and a skirt. They didn't know who he was. They didn't care. Dr. Doom, he sold. People knew Dr. Doom from the cartoon show. But yeah, it's game over, right? Game over. Switch Feige out. Indisputable. Yada, 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 yada. So I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. And we'll talk later.